The hardest thing you can do in your life is staying positive when there's no reason in your life to stay positive. So I just found out actually my uncle just passed away last night, and that one was unexpected. I can't lie. Now I'm not particularly the closest with my uncle. I didn't really see him all that much growing up, but just thinking about it was like, whoa, that was unexpected. He was very young too. He was in his early 40s, and it was like, whoa, that really hit me. Like I knew he was ill, but just knowing that, oh, it's actually his time to go hit me. I was talking to my cousin actually. So my cousin, and that's his dad. He's really going through it, and he's actually younger than me. I'm 23, he's 21. So I was talking to him, and for him, it's like earth shattering and devastating. And I don't want to, be there and be like, oh, look, things are going to get better. Because, frankly, if you're in a situation like that, what do you mean things are going to get better? It's like his literal dad is gone. And I just remembered like situations like those where I couldn't relate that on that level to him. But for me, it was just, these last couple of years, I really had my back up against the wall. I was on my last couple $1,000s. I was running this pretty successful business, and out of nowhere, I had a bunch of issues, and just things went south, and I lost a lot of money, and I lost a lot of friendships. I lost a lot of people in my life that I didn't mean to lose, but it just ended up happening because I was so distant and avoidant, and I stopped caring about what other people thought, and I stopped really giving a fuck about anything and everything. And in those situations, I just remembered like how hard it was to stay positive. There's things in your life where these events happen, but then also your attitude towards those events also determine how things are going to move forward. If you're in a spiral and you keep, having these negative ideas and thoughts, and you keep going on down these negative pathways, all it does is add more and more negativity on your path. You can know what I mean. I'm not even saying staying particularly positive or happy in bad situations is always required, because at the end of the day, we're humans. We're going to feel what we feel. But I think the difference is when you have at least a calm perspective and not just oh, my life sucks, everything's bad, I'm the unluckiest person alive. I think when you get in those headspaces for too long, it ends up actually hindering you, because then you can't act clearly, you can't think clearly. Staying positive doesn't mean being happy all the time. Staying positive just means you're not going in down these negative, dark paths where you actually start belittling yourself because you think these events in your life, this chapter of your life is your whole life. It's not your whole life. It's a phase of your life. And a lot of times what ends up happening is you become a lot more experienced in terms of just what life can be, right? Like you end up becoming a lot stronger, and you don't feel that in the moment because it takes a lot of growth. But once you look back on it, a couple of years down the road, you realize, wow, I'm actually just way more better off now. I've done more things. I've lived more life. I've seen more people. I've seen how people act. I've seen how I can be irrational. I can see how other people can be irrational. I can see how certain situations play out. And you can either become numb to these things, or you can just realize like, okay, learning experience. Here's what I should do and here's what I shouldn't do. And it hurts because at the end of the day, you might actually lose people in your life during that growth phase. But at the end of the day, that is kind of life. The only thing promised in life is change. So unfortunately, that some things you just kind of had to come to accept. But staying positive, in my opinion, isn't really just about being all that happy or being all that right in your head even. I just think staying positive in general is just, not going down these dark spirals, because all they do is just make things even worse, because you can't think clearly long term, and you just kind of lose the vision and foresight that you would have had otherwise if you were at least as calm, at least not stressed out, just taking time for yourself. And in the long term, you can just plan better, you can act better, you can make actual rational decisions like grown functioning adults. And overall, I'm just in this like weird phase right now where I lost someone that I didn't even think I would be losing at this age in my life. I thought he would have well over another like 40, 50 years, but it is what it is. And it's unfortunate. And speaking to my cousin, I was like, man, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. And right now he's really down in the dumps, and I feel for him. I feel for him. And I can't relate, obviously, because what he's going through is 100 million times worse than whatever I've ever went through in my life. So it just gave me more reason to at least be appreciative of what I have, be more positive towards the things and opportunities I have, and be more appreciative of the people around me and my family. And I don't want to, make this all about me, because at the end of the day, it's not. It's about in general. The situations you go through, you can either become better from them or you can become worse from them. And sometimes it's really just your outlook and attitude towards these things. And I'm not saying glass half full, glass half empty. I'm just saying stay neutral. Just stay neutral. Don't let bad events determine the whole rest of your life, because an event is just an event. It's not everything.